Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Zimbabwe has just gone through an election process last year, the results of which are still being disputed. The elections were rigged. The regional body, SADC, the continental body, the AU, election observers, condemned the process as flawed. And yet, the country is already gripped with the next election. Zanu PF is already in campaign mode for the next election, 2028. And President Mnangagwa, he is sending double messages. On the one hand, he says he's not going to contest the 2028 elections. And yet, his supporters are the one who are calling for him to stay on. And only the very naive would believe that those people are saying it without his approval and encouragement. These are individuals who know that he wants to stay on. These are individuals who know that by taking up that mantra, they're doing themselves a big favor. And yet, he's come back again and again, insisting that he is not going to stay beyond 2028. Here he speaks on the same subject.
Besides being a soldier, I'm a trained lawyer. I'm a constitutionalist. I want our party, our leadership, our people to be constitutionalists. We must abide by the provisions of our constitution to the letter. Kana nguva yekuti uinde inda inoinda.
That is very rich. He is telling us that he is a constitutionalist and he wants to stick with the constitution to the letter. Only those who are really naive would believe what he's saying. The Zimbabwe constitution was passed in 2013. The document itself is voluminous and it is a joke. It contains chapter and verses, page after page after page, on the rule of law, the rights and freedoms of the individual, the structure of government, etc., etc. And yet, in the same document, you'll find a few verses that allows the Constitution to create a de facto one-party state headed by a dictator. And there are few verses that gives the dictator the right to take away all those things, the page and page of what the Constitution had promised. So taken away. So that at the end of the day, the Constitution is just a hollow document promising a lot, but delivering precious little. It was Paul Mnangagwa, who was the Zanu PF representative in the committee, the parliamentary committee that drafted the Constitution, who soon after the March 2013 referendum approving the Constitution, who could not resist boasting that the 2013 election Constitution was dictated by Mugabe. And he was right. The Constitution is no more than a dictator's creed. That is the truth of it. And that is why the Constitution has failed the people of Zimbabwe. It has failed to guarantee their freedom and basic fundamental rights. Why it has failed to create a healthy and functioning political system. It is a dictator's creed. In campaigning during the referendum, Morgan Tsvangirai and his MDC friends claimed that it was a democratic constitution. Morgan Tsvangirai went even to the extent of calling it an MDC child. What does he know? Here is a short video clip of an American judge talking about constitutions, banana republic constitutions that promise to deliver everything but never do. I think the judge here might as well have been speaking about Zimbabwe. He didn't have to name Zimbabwe, but he might just as well have been speaking about Zimbabwe. Let's listen to this.
I started this pilgrimage. I am going to get even more fundamental than my good friend and colleague. Like him, I speak to students, especially law students, but also college students and even high school students, quite frequently about the Constitution, because I feel that we're not teaching it very well. I speak to law students from the best law schools, people presumably especially interested in the law, and I ask them, how many of you have read the Federalist Papers? And well, a lot of hands will go out. No, not just number 48 and the big ones. How many of you have read the Federalist Papers cover to cover? Never more than about 5%. And that is. Is very sad. I mean, especially if you're interested in the Constitution. Here's a document that says what the framers of it thought they were doing. It's such a profound exposition of political science that it is studied in political science courses in Europe. And yet we have raised a generation of Americans who are